The Brown County executive says the debt reduction plan put in place back in 2017 is working and that homeowners are reaping the benefits.
It's to say the 2025 proposed county budget unveiled today includes the lowest property tax rate on record. Brittany Schmidt joins us now with those numbers. Brittany.
Billy Cammey, the county executive says the county government is trying to do its part to lower costs for the average homeowner as costs seem to be increasing elsewhere. Troy Streckenbach says the 2025 mill rate will decrease by 24 cents.
Brown County Executive Troy Streckenbach says his proposed 2025 budget of roughly $325 million invests in infrastructure, maintains services, and debt reduction for the county. The mill rate will drop from $3.04 to $2.80.
What does that mean to the average household? It means roughly about $36 on a $150,000 home or $248 on a $200,000 home. So again, it may not be a significant amount of money, but it's still in the right direction. When we see all of our costs going up,
the county's budget levy for 2025 is $94.53 million, which is about $46,000 less than last year's budget.
It's a good budget. Our overall property tax levy will be going down again, and our overall debt will be going down by $7.7 million. Since taking office, the overall debt has dropped by $120 million.
In 2024, Brown County had a net new construction value of about $800 million, with major growth in the town of New Denmark, Ashwaubenon, Lawrence, Wrightstown, and Hobart. Streckenbach says the county's investment of more than $7 million into the South Bridge Connector will only add to the county's development, impacting 7 different municipalities. On roads, the county plans to invest $37 million across 18 projects, improving 23 miles next year. Over the next 3 years, the county will invest in its Phoenix Innovation Park.
It's about brain gain versus brain drain.
And port development, while also funding courthouse security upgrades. Streckenbach says with this budget, Brown County has to foot the bill for what he believes are state shortfalls, including $100,000 toward the district attorney's office to retain positions, plus building and staffing a $15 million new jail pod to hold 128 inmates. Streckenbach feels the state is using the county jail as part of the state prison system.
When you look at the case backlog, Brown County could make the argument that the backlog is forcing us to open and operate 2 additional jail pods that we normally shouldn't be.
So how do we fix that backlog?
You got to get the state and the governor's office to recognize they're not funding us at the level that we need. We need additional judges and we need additional ADAs.
Streckenbach worries the lack of movement in court cases could lead to early releases for certain criminals, creating a public safety issue.
The reality is, it is what it is, and we just need to continue to be advocates to the state, work with our legislators, work with the governor's office to try to come up with a solution that ultimately helps us address this issue.
The County Board of Supervisors will consider the spending plan at its annual budget meeting on October 23rd at the Brown County Central Library. In the newsroom, Brittany Schmidt, Action 2 News.